There we go. Okay, deep breaths. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being with me, for being with technology, for being with these ladies here. Yeah, I just thank you in advance for working with me. Okay, so simplify to multiply. Things do not need to be difficult in the kingdom. Now, I have done a lot of courses. I have done a lot of certifications, and I know that things can get really confusing, but I just want to share with you, um, as this is coming up, that things don't need to be hard. Um, and we are just going to focus, or how you are able to, if this is what you want, how to focus on one thing. Even if you're starting from scratch, even if you have a tiny list, maybe you have no list at all, maybe if you're just making 500, 1,000 a month, how you really can simplify to scale. And this has brought time freedom. This has brought financial freedom. And I'm super excited to be sharing this with you. So, if we have not met, my name is Carrie Olson. I am the founder of Brave Abundance. I have been in the coaching world for quite a while now. I started out in 2012 as a health coach for moms with cancer. That was part of my background and really got me into coaching. I was like, Lord, let's make meaning out of this experience. And He did. So I did that. However, didn't make a single penny on that, because I would get on these discovery calls. The women would be like, that sounds amazing. They're like, but I don't really have the money right now. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, my heart was just to serve them. And that's what I did. However, I was also a single mom. I was also working a full-time job. And let me just tell you that that is a recipe for burnout. And so, as servant hearted as I believe you all are, you can only do that for a certain amount of time, right? That's not a sustainable business. You are not going to be able to give money to missionaries around the world to help build wells, to rescue women and children out of sex trafficking. And those were also things that God had put on my heart. So after a while, He was like, Carrie, this is not working. And I really agreed with him. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more of that story today. But if you have ever felt like you failed, because you're not making the money that you want to be making, having the impact that you know God has called you to make, I just want to say it is not your fault. And if you've been concerned, or maybe you've just heard those little voices in the back of your head saying, oh, I don't know if this is for you. I don't know if you can succeed. I just want to put those fears to rest. I'm going to be sharing some things with you today that I think are going to hopefully change some things for all of us. Okay, so my goal for this masterclass is helping you to learn to do business with God from a whole different place than you've probably ever done it before, from a place of joy and flow and ease. And that you will be able to just, work with Him so that you can have a sustainable business by packaging up your gifts, skills, and talents into a high-touch hybrid program that your clients are going to love, and that allows you to still work part-time hours while bringing in 9 to 10K a month. So again, like I said before, if we haven't met, I am an occupational therapist. I was working at a school for the deaf until last August, when God finally made a way to quit, for me to quit there and do coaching full time. I have way too many coaching certifications. Again, from a certified health coach to a Ramsey Master financial coach, a money breakthrough business coach, and that is only naming 3 of the 9. Again, ridiculous. I know you do not need that. You do not even need 1 to be able to share the gifts, talents, and skills that God has created you with. And most recently, I was asked by a previous mentor to help coach one of, the ladies in her program. And this may have been my best education yet because her goal is 10 million this year. Now, this contract has ended. I am focused 100% on my ladies, but I was able to see the ins and outs behind the scenes, the processes, the tools, systems, everything that goes into a business that's currently making about 300,000 a month in coaching. So personally, I'm a proud mom to 3 teens, 2 labs, and a wife to Tig of about 4.5 years now. It's my family, my 2 little doggies. We have a puppy. He's still 3 months. He is pure trouble, and good thing God made him cute because we love him. So I am currently living my most fulfilled life, but it has not always been this way. And I just want to highlight here that God is a good father, that he loves us more than you could ever imagine. And he is so faithful. And this is not just for me. This is so true for every single one of you. But I just want to share with you one story that really brought me to be on to surrender. And this is my sweet youngest daughter. Her name is Amelie. And it's always hard to know where to start with my story. But in 2011, I was diagnosed with cancer. My ex at that time was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And it was a rough time for everyone. Now, yes, I was sleeping like 16-hour days. We had 3 tiny little kids. However, I was not prepared for the day that I came home and he was sitting there on the front porch with his backpack on waiting for me. And he was like, Carrie, this is not fun anymore. I am out of here. He literally walked down the street. And as much as that pulled the rug out from underneath me, I mean, I could not believe it, first of all, but it really started me to be leaning into God's plan, God's purpose. I couldn't just go through my days anymore. I had to rely on him for every single thing to get over, healing physically, emotionally, financially. He also left me with a home in foreclosure. And as much as that was such a shameful, horrible experience, I was working my full-time job and 2 part-time jobs, and I still didn't make enough to even pay for the mortgage, let alone gas and groceries and things that the kids needed. So I really had to let go of so much of the control that I had been holding on so tightly to. And I think that was one of the big lessons that God was teaching me in this time. But he was also with me. Now, I was praying for, I'm kind of a recovering hustler, both of my parents are farm kids. They wake from, or they work from the moment they wake till the moment they go to sleep. And so if things at this time in my life weren't going the way I thought they should be, I was like, work more, work harder, work longer. Oh, and that's exhausting. So again, I just want to highlight how good God is. And he allowed me a way to stay in our home. Again, while I was praying for more coaching clients, I was also doing network marketing, more clients that way, more classes I could just share with, I was dragging my kids all over town. And God was like, Carrie, there's better ways to do this. And so while our home was in foreclosure, he brought me through 7 different sheriff sales. Now, this is when they put your home up for auction at the county courthouse. It goes to the highest bidder. And as shameful and horrible and heavy as that experience was, they would give you a date. The next day, I kept calling in because obviously I've got 3 kids. I need to know when we need to be out of our home. I would say, okay, the sale was yesterday. When's my day? When do I need to be out? And they're like going through all their records. And this is bankers and mortgage people and attorneys and county clerks. And they're like, I don't know what happened. Like it didn't go through. I'm like, what on earth is happening? It took me 7 times. I had a lot going on at that time, but it took me 7 times to understand that this was God. And the seventh time I that this happened, I walked out of my back door one morning. By now it's July 2015. I let the dogs out that morning, and there he was again. The sheriff was sitting on my back patio furniture. He hands me the papers. I am just like, oh, here we go again. Full of shame, full of dread. I had really tried to protect my kids up until that point. They knew nothing was going on, well, with the house. But I was just at my wit's end. I'm like, God has protected us for 7 sheriff sales. It's been over 3 years that I have lived without a payment. And this can't keep going on forever. Like, that was even pretty unheard of for that amount of time. And so as I sat them down for our dinner, I remember we were having peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I said, guys, we're going to be moving. I need you to also prepare your hearts for Christmas. You're going to get one present. I just didn't want them to be crying on Christmas morning. And I also told them that we were going to need to cut out like everything to make ends meet so that I could start paying rent somewhere. And that was their beloved basketball, gymnastics, dance. And as heartbreaking as that was for me, I just felt like a failure as their mother, and the tears are welling up in my eyes, and I get the words out and I run to the bathroom. And as I'm in there sobbing, my youngest daughter, Amelie, who you see here, she came and she knocked on the door, and I opened it up, and she's standing there and she has her tiny little pink cheetah print suitcase. And she was like, Mom, we're going to be okay. I have lots of stuff for us to sell for money. And she had packed seashells and books and Barbies and all her earthly treasures, painted rocks, nail polish. And, just what that did absolutely broke me open. I knew I couldn't control anything anymore. And I still, to this day, thank her for that, because that was the night I was on my knees. I surrendered everything. I was like, Lord, this so clearly is not working. I give you everything. I give you my house. I give you my business. I give you my kids. And from then on, he has been with me. And I am just so excited about the things that he has, the things that he is doing and continues to do. Because also about 3 months from that night, I met my now husband. We live in a home gosh, when I was in that home in foreclosure, I would have never dreamt I would be here. He made a way for us to be here. And after Tig and I got married, not only did, he was able to move into we're still in my house in foreclosure. We lived there for 6 years and 2 months without a payment. And so again, just stay open when you are saying those prayers to God, whether it's for your business, your life, just know that he will provide. That's part of his name. And so, but I praise him for what he did in my life, for the miracles he led us through. My kids were able to see this and tell this as part of their story now too. He was there through it all. So good, so faithful. And this isn't just true for me, this is true for you as well. So now wrap your heart tightly around the hope that lives within us, knowing that God always keeps his promises. This is from Hebrews 10:23 from the Passion Translation. Now, if you don't know that his promises for you, he has a plan, he has a purpose, they are good, and it's always more than we can, ask or imagine. I just want you and invite you to get really, really clear on what those promises are, especially for your business. So now back to a little bit more of my coaching. I was working full-time as an occupational therapist in a very soul-sucking environment. But I had an agreement with Tig that I would increase my coaching income so that I was able to be at that level where I could quit my job. I had to show 3 months of consistent income. So I decided to go all in. Now, this was in early 2020. At this time, I had just became certified as a master financial coach through Dave Ramsey. I'm like, this is it. This is my thing. And so I hired an ads agency. I worked with a consultant. I put a lot of money into this. I did a 10-day challenge. I don't know how I ever got talked into that. Do not do those. Those are exhausting. But I had, over 300 women that had come into my challenge because of the ads. Again, it was exhausting, but I was so excited because I was like, there is going to be breakthrough here for these women. I am going to put together this offer that they can't refuse. And I was so excited to put it out there. So at the end of on the 10th day, I told them all about my group coaching program. It was 10 weeks for $67. And do you know how many people bought it? 0. There was no one, and I was devastated. And again, as God, he likes me to learn things, sometimes the very, very hard ways. Now I'm learning to, lean into the nudges. But I was crying my eyes out that night. I remember I was in the living room telling Ty, please take that God here, please pray that God take this desire for coaching out of my heart because this is not working. Now, Tig is smarter than that. He did not pray. I am still here, obviously. And we know that there are no coincidences in the kingdom. But as much as, me asking God to take that desire for coaching out of my heart, I knew that that would have been the wrong thing because that would have meant that I was being disobedient to God in what he was calling me to do. And so the next morning, I somehow, again, no coincidences here, but found myself in a messenger conversation with a loving Christian coach. I had never worked with a Christian coach at this point. And she saw me. She worked with me. She helped me launch and do everything that had been missing in the past. Again, I was about hustle and doing it hard and doing more if things weren't working. But she taught me how to work with God, with the Spirit, doing things with grace and ease. And so all my struggles and years of frustration, 8 years of coaching previously, where I lost money every single year, have led me to be absolutely obsessed with helping fast track this process for other women with less time, less money, and way less tears than it took me. Because I nearly gave up, and I do not want that for anyone else. If you know that this is something that God has called you to, it doesn't have to be coaching. I help experts package their online gifts and put them out into the world. But I am grateful for this heart that God made me with. And he made me to be very stubborn with a heart for persevering so that I can now walk alongside you, hold your hand, pray for you in the hard times, and be your biggest cheerleader when you win, because entrepreneurship is not easy. And so I just want to introduce you to Marla. She was one of my very first clients. She is a biblical counselor. And just wanted to share a little bit of what she has to say. She said, before I began working with Carrie, I was struggling with seeing consistent income in my business all over the place. Tons of ideas for what to do next, for how to grow, just what direction to go in. I had a hard time narrowing things down and I was lacking clarity. I really wanted to find someone who I knew was truly in alignment with me as a believer. And how I feel right now about my business and life after working with Carrie is drastically different. As a result, I feel more freedom, more satisfaction, more content with the pace and the progress that's coming in day to day, week to week, and month to month. She was struggling with, her finances before we worked together, but now she's seeing consistent months. She says, most importantly, she helped me solve problems in a way that was spirit-led, prayer-filled, and just exactly what I needed to figure out the next step. And so then overcoming the fear to go there, right? So much fear in launching your own business. So if you're someone who's looking for particularly a financially savvy, business-minded coach who has biblical values, is rooted in truth, and is going to help just debunk the fear and the lies that are rolling around in your head, Carrie's amazing at it. And so what we're going to cover today, secret number 1, is how to structure your business and deliver your offer using a high-touch hybrid so that you can hit those 10K months without doing draining launches or posting on social media every single day. Secret number 2, how to get spirit-led sales and enroll one high-ticket client a week, even if you hate selling or you can't even get anyone to buy your $197 offer. And secret number 3, how you can scale to 6 figures, even if you have less than 1,000 followers, a tiny email list, you're just starting out, or don't even have 40 hours to commit to this work. So, structuring your business. Now, I get this. I had a lot of resistance, even to the words like high ticket offer. I was like, who are these people? When I was starting out, again, that was my own issues. I had self-worth issues for sure. But what even is high ticket? What is a high ticket hybrid? I consider anything $1,500 high ticket. I truly believe, because I've tried everything, you guys. I have tried subscriptions, members, $27 offers, $297 offers. The only way that we can make sustainable income, unless you have a really, really big list, is to sell offers of at least $1,500. And I know that every single one of you that are here right now, that are watching on the replays later, you have this within you. You have that value. You have that worth. I already know it's there. We just have to pull it out of you. Because you might be thinking, well, I can't sell high ticket. I'm not an expert yet. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I don't want to leave anyone behind. I knew what it was like to struggle financially. So I wanted my coaching to be priced in a way where it was available to everyone. And do you remember $67? No one takes that seriously. But people who pay attention. People need to invest in themselves. They have to have some skin in the game to get the best results. And so while I was working full time, I knew I needed to leverage my time and energy so I wouldn't be burned out and I could still serve at my highest level. And so again, my coach, she had to talk me into this. I was freaking out. I'm like, I cannot start out selling something at $1,500. But I truly wanted to make enough to replace my school job income. If I just got 2 clients a month at $2,500 versus 10 at $497, my goodness, that's so much more doable. Again, none of us start out with a big list most of the time, right? So I learned that selling one high ticket program wasn't actually any harder than selling a low ticket one, but I was also able to focus on serving my dream clients at a much deeper level. And you know what? They got better results. Again, they are investing in themselves through you. But when they pay a higher ticket price, they are more invested. They show up to the calls. They do the homework. I've offered the same thing at a couple different price points now. And it always blows my mind that the people at $1,500 versus the people at $497, whether it's the exact same thing, because I did that initially, the people that are paying $1,500 get way better results. And so again, this isn't about you. This is actually about them. And so I I priced it at 2,500. I did do a beta offer and was selling it for $1,500. But after I did that, and with all the like spiritual stuff in the background that I had never incorporated before, shifting the atmospheres, praying ahead, I was able to make 14.5K within my first 53 days. And this was after that evening in my living room, crying and asking God that He takes that desire for coaching out of my heart. And so I just want to tell you that it can happen. It can happen really quickly. So suddenly I was able to start paying for things like family vacations to the beach. I was able to employ a virtual assistant and tell myself that this would be my very last year at the school. Now, I started in September of 2020 with this business. So I had signed a contract. I had to commit to doing that. But every day on my drive there, I'm like, this is my last year. This is my last year. And so but the beauty of that also is that I learned how to do things in a very leveraged strategic way where it's not going to take a ton of time. And so when things weren't coming together, like I said before, I thought it was working. This was pre this coach, working more, working harder, more offers. But the real secret was just letting go of all the stuff that was taking my time and just creating one high valued and irresistible offer. So what do you really need for 9 to 11K months? I think this is a pretty standard, when you're starting out, people just want to hit that 10K months. I do believe that you need to set yourself up right from the start. When you're selling low ticket, you are going to struggle because you need so many people to fill this. And you are just going to be trying different things. Oh, darn, this offer didn't work. Maybe I'll try something else. And it's that, I don't know that that's, that bright, shiny object syndrome, but it is that skipping around, trying a million different offers, trying a million different strategies, different tools, different platforms, because you're looking for what is that magic bullet. And sadly, there is no one magic bullet. There are a million different things that work, but when you focus on one thing, there is a lot of power there. So when you set up a high ticket hybrid program to get results for your clients and a model that you and your family will love. Now, what the heck does that even mean, Carrie? So a high ticket hybrid, this is what I teach my clients to do. You are going to focus on solving one problem for them. You're going to be known as the expert in this one area. And you're going to give them the training and education, everything they need to go from where they're at today to where they want to be through a training portal. We're going to do the videos, we're going to do the worksheets, whatever they need to get there. But we're going to do the training and the education, the stuff that you're saying again and again and again to every single person. And we're going to put it all in there so you can remove yourself from that part of it. Then when you just do your group coaching with them, which again, starting out, I would just recommend one time a week, you're going to give each person individual time. It's more like hot seat or laser coaching. Where are you at? What do you need? What can we break through? What do we need to pray into? What's going on? And problem solving. So that your time with them isn't on the teaching, the education, all that stuff. Because people are at very different places in their life and their business. Now, I just had several women join my program. A couple of them have some newborns at home. And then I also have a couple teachers who are like, now's the time. It's my summer. I got to move fast. And I believe that when you have that training portal for them to go through as quickly or as thoughtfully as they want, like that's really meeting them where they're at. We're not coming together in week one. We're all teaching, or I'm teaching the same thing. We're all doing this together. And then week two, we all do this together. No, we are giving them what they need and helping them go through it as quickly or thoughtfully as they want. So this is where each client is working towards their success. they're also learning collectively from their coaches and each other, that beautiful community. They're leveraging each other's value, gifts, talents, and experiences. And I love this model because the benefits magnify as you receive an entire community of powerful praying women alongside your coaching experience. Because with one-on-one, you're still, I do love one-on-one, but you're still trading your time for money. With this system, you have the training portal to deliver the education so that you can offer one-on-one. I call these my VIPs. But it's for shorter amounts of time, and it's also at a higher price. So you might be thinking, well, gosh, I'm not really that much of an expert to charge high ticket. I'm just starting out. My people won't pay me. I hear that one a lot. My niche won't pay that much. But the truth is, when you're working very specifically on your messaging and positioning, it's just an exchange of value. So how much is it worth to solve the problem that you are helping them with? Again, there's a marketing side to this, and then there's the fulfillment. The marketing is speaking to their fears, their stress, their worry. And then the fulfillment is giving them what they need, what you are passionate about doing, giving them, the cough syrup versus, just hitting them on the back. We're giving them what they need and marketing to what they want. And so we don't want to be giving this a little solution when we know they really need more in depth. Most of the time, they do need a lot more than they even think. And with you as the expert, you might be going into the really in-depth stuff when they're just like, can you just solve my problem? And so it's learning how to speak to that. Now, again, you do not need to have arrived. This really held me back to when I was health coaching. I was so scared that women, because again, these women with cancer, that they were going to ask me a question I didn't know the answer to. Or when I was financial coaching, I'm like, well, I'm not a millionaire. No one's going to listen to me. But the truth is that you only need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of where your clients want to be. Because, I give this analogy a lot, but if you're hiking up Mount Everest and you've got your guide, they give you these Sherpas, and the guide was up on top of the mountain and they're yelling down to you because there's such a big gap. Yes, they've arrived, but they don't understand where you are. No, I want the Sherpa right in front of me saying, take this step here. I just was there. This is what you need to do. And then take this step here. I just want this step by step, someone I can relate with, someone who is not at a $10 million business, because they're doing things very differently than how I'm doing my business. Now, secret number 2 is how to get spirit-led sales and enroll one high-ticket client, even if you hate selling and you can't get anyone to buy your $197 offer. So most of the beautiful ladies that I work with, they are thinking, oh, I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at social media, technology, content creation, right? Like the list goes on and on. And I would have said a lot of the same things. And so they just think, maybe I'm on the right or the wrong platform. Maybe I just need a podcast. Maybe, there's a million things, right? But I just want to tell you that this is going to set you up for burnout. I was doing all those things that you hear about, being active in other people's Facebook groups, adding value, just add value, they say. Oh gosh, responding to comments, generally spending at least 2 hours a day on Facebook after I got home from my full-time job. Now, I love coaching my clients. I'm just not a huge fan of marketing all day long. I just want the easy way, right? Like, Lord, please just drop my clients in my lap, which he has done, but sometimes you just need a little more strategy too, right? So I got into doing what I'm doing so that I could make an impact on those who want to get their gifts and calling out into the world, not to spend hours posting in other people's groups and DMing strangers day in, day out. So I tested all the launch strategies. Again, you heard about some of them, a 3-day challenge, a 5-day challenge, a 10-day challenge. I did a 2-day live event virtually. I have done webinars, masterclasses, whatever you want to call them. And the craziest thing is I got between 3 to 5 clients for every single one of these things. So let's make it easy on ourselves. I've already tested this for you. So I have developed this masterclass Mad Libs process where I basically ask you a bunch of questions and within 48 hours, hand you a script so that you can do your own masterclass just like this. Do not do a 2-day like live event. You don't need to do a 5-day, a 10-day challenge. Those are exhausting. I've actually worked with many different coaches now on developing these webinar scripts, and that can even take up to 5-6 weeks. I have had entire courses, entire one-on-one strategies where all we're doing is the webinar, and it can take so long. But the way that myself and my team work, we ask you the questions and then put it all together and we hand it back to you. And so then you can go out and like next day do your own masterclass because this doesn't have to be hard. Plus your webinar opt-in video script, your sales copy, all that kind of stuff. I love to make things easy. Now, I wouldn't say I'm lazy, but I love to do things that are strategic, that get me results, that don't need to take tons and tons of time and energy. So just using one marketing tool. And this can be used both organically, linking it to different profiles, sending it to people when you connect with them, or we can speed up that process with ads. Totally up to you. It works either way. Now, again, some people coaches or experts might be thinking, oh, just things have been so difficult. Maybe I just wasn't made for this. And this is what breaks my heart because I am guessing that if God led you here, you were made for this. You have everything here. You're just making it really hard on yourself. So I just want to reassure you because I've been there, I can say that. Or I just need to do more to get clients. Actually, there's nothing right about that. Working with God is a whole different way of doing things. And so what I've developed is a done with you program. We'll start out with a business in a box so you can have all my templates, my swipes, my scripts, my content matrix, my masterclass in minutes, and step by step with everything that you need to get from where you're at to consistent 10K months. Now, secret number 3, if you're just starting out, you don't have more than 1,000 followers, a tiny email list, or even, you're not doing this full time. Well, I'm still basically at all these things. I don't have more than 900 people in my Facebook group or on my email list. I do not work 40 hours a week. And that is just something that I don't want to do. I have 3 teenagers who are leaving the nest very soon. And man, time is precious. So I keep hearing, I don't know how to grow my following. I don't know how to find enough people who will pay me. I don't have enough hours in the day to be doing all the things. And yeah, you shouldn't be doing all the things. But when I had that first 14.5K in my business, I had less than 300 people starting out and I had no email list. So I was still working in a full-time job, 45 minutes away from me. So driving an hour and a half every day. And I'm a total introvert. I love people, but it just wasn't me to be DMing strangers all day long on social media. So you might be thinking, okay, Carrie, this is great, but I just don't know how to. There's a million things to fill in the blanks with, right? There's a lot when we have to start out, not only the mindset, but we need to come up with getting the courage to do what God's calling us to do, the mindset right, to stop playing small, stop with all the self-sabotage, buying into the lies of the enemy, but then actually doing the strategies like market research to know what our clients want and will pay for, packaging your genius into an offer, getting that training portal, setting up your program. What does that look like? How complicated is that to price what you're doing, to market and then find clients the easy way, to do sales calls without feeling weird and awkward and salesy? Because if we are doing things that are not in alignment, we're going to stop. We can only do things with willpower for so long before we're just like, I'm exhausted. I give up. I can't do this. And so I just want to reassure you that you actually don't need a big audience. You do not need to be doing this full time. You do not need to have a marketing degree. If you can follow step-by-step directions and have a heart for Jesus, literally everything you need. So we've covered these 3 secrets. I just want to share a little bit about what my newest thing is, because I'm super excited to share with my community before I start putting this out there into the world with ads. And I'm just introducing to you ladies now the Prosperous Coach Academy. This is the beta edition, Done With You program. So I want to walk with you as you learn the steps to partnering with God so that you can have a consistently sustainable and profitable business by packaging your gifts, talents, and skills into that high-touch hybrid program. Again, where your clients are getting great results. They're not feeling like a number. You still have a ton of time with them, but it's also allowing you to work part-time hours and still be bringing in good amounts of money. So up until this point, I have been, my program has been the Prosperous Coach Blueprint. And now I'm just up leveling that because of what I have been doing with that high ticket coach whose goal is 10 million a year. But I am packaging these both together this one time. So I'm putting these together, and we're going to be kind of going, you would have access to both, whether you are starting out or you're like, yep, I am making money. I am ready for ease, automations, funnels, that type of thing. But it's a 6-month program. You get the online training, the education, the videos, playbooks, worksheets, templates, swipe files, content matrix, and the scripts for every single thing you would need. And this is specifically for experts who want to package their passion and purpose into a high ticket. Again, high ticket is $1,500 or more offer. Experts and coaches who have that big vision, they just know that God is giving them something and they want to put it out online. They want to impact others. They have that servant heart to help others. And even experts and coaches who are starting from scratch. Maybe you just have a vision and you're like, I don't even know what to do with this. Or maybe you've actually started, but things just don't seem to be coming together. Now, I think people, you might be stopping yourself right now and just saying, it's not the right time. And I already know that none of us have like just this extra mountain of money sitting around in the bank. You might be saying, I'm not sure I'm ready. I don't feel like an expert. I just want to remind you that God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. And if he has given you the vision for this, he will give you the provision for every single thing that you need to see it out. So you would get the Prosperous Coach plug and play the playbook. Again, so much there. The webinar creation kit, the webinar hosting software. This is only for the first 25 women. I have an enterprise edition, kind of an agency edition, where I'm just giving you all my webinar stuff. So you don't have to pay $297 a month to host webinars. But here's one of my very favorite aspects. You get these 4 beautiful coaches. So now in my group coaching program, I coach once a week. But Dr. Darlene Mayo, she is a Christian neurosurgeon, neuroscientist. She has actually done research with Dr. Caroline Leaf. If you're familiar with her, they're on the same level. And she is helping us with the brain success, right? The neural pathways to make this easy, joyful, fun. If there's anything coming up, what is stopping us? She's able to just pinpoint that so quickly and easily. I am just grateful that she has said yes to being part of this program. Michelle Terpstra, she is a master sales coach because sometimes we just need the strategies. And so she is beautiful. She is brilliant. She has been working for Fortune 500 companies, but within the last 5 years, now she just works with women entrepreneurs. And man, does she have beautiful strategies to share. And then if you've ever been part of our prayer and prophetic night, you will know Vanessa Chavez. She is a pastor. She is so anointed, so prophetic. I do believe we all hear from God, but man, she's just on a different telephone line. And so whether it's just Lord, am I doing the right things? If you need the encouragement, if you need the strategy, she's just boom, here you go. And I just love what she brings to my ladies. And then we just newly added Cassandra Aguilon, and she is a Facebook ads expert. Now, I know ads might not even be for everyone. Right now, my ladies are just focusing on growing their warm market. We're not getting into the complicated funnels. We are just doing 2 short videos, 2 60-second videos that are growing your warm markets for 6 cents a lead. Now, you either need to pay with time or money, but her strategy just includes marketing for $2 a day. Again, completely optional, but super excited to be able to offer her services. So if you work full time or you can't make the calls, we do have replays from every event. You do have the ability to submit questions ahead of time and get every single question answered. Now, these coaches, I don't know. I think actually their value is way more than $12.97 a month, because have you ever been coached by a neurosurgeon? That's pretty expensive. What I am also super excited to share is overwhelm no more, because we know when you are starting out, the technology, the graphics, all the things that you need to do, it's just a lot. And so this is Ellen. She is my personal VA. I am actually gifting you 2 hours a month working with her, because I'm sure that you have wanted help in your business, but maybe you've been nervous around trying to find someone you trusted, someone who has expertise or skills that are not in your area of genius, someone that has all the training so that you don't have to teach them everything. So all those things that you have had on your to-do list, whether it's connecting things or making a workbook or lead magnet, or the list goes on and on, right? What if you could actually take those off and have someone help you with that? So Ellen and I have worked together for close to 1.5 years now, and I gush over her daily. I sometimes get a little worried that someone's gonna come along and scoop her up, because she's so good, but she is pure joy. She is extremely competent. She's a hard worker and full of integrity. She's a beautiful graphic designer. She has a great mind for tech and helping with all those issues that take me way too long to figure out. And she prays for me in my business. She is a Christian. And so I am willing to share one of my greatest business assets with you, because I don't want you to be stuck. Now, 24/7 Voxer access to me. Again, this is a value of mine so that you don't get stuck along the way. When you're starting or scaling your business, there's tons of questions, tons of things you need to figure out, right? Or maybe you just need to be held accountable for some tasks that you really don't want to do. Or prayer. Wouldn't that be cool to have someone in your back pocket who you can just be help, or can you pray for me? I'm having a rough day. And that is me. I love coaching through Voxer. 24/7 Voxer access to me. So again, what you're going to get, the blueprint I have been selling at $4,800. The Prosperous Coach Academy, this is my new program, I will be selling for $7,500. You get the playbook, which is $497, my entire team at $77.82. You get 2 hours of VA help from my assistant. and 24/7 Voxer access to me. Now, the total value of this, I really believe, is $22,696. Now, obviously, well, I have paid $30,000 for programs, but I'm not going to charge you that. If all this did was to give you a complete path from big vision to packaging your gifts and putting them into the world, would that be worth it? Or if all this did was to give you the vehicle to say yes to God's plan and purpose for who He created you to be, would that be worth it? Or if all this did was to strengthen your obedience, faith, trust, and deepen your relationship with God as you build this out, would that be worth it? So now I had two choices. I could make it cheap or I could make it valuable. And the regular price, like I said, for the Academy will be $7,500. But right now I am offering it at a beta price because I want to work extra hard for your testimonial and results so that I can get your case study as social proof for my full program launch. The only catch is if you agree to become a case study after I help get you amazing results. So I had 5 spots. I have 2 left. And then I'm going to be launching this at a much higher investment. So if you are feeling at all led, if you are just kind of feeling the Holy Spirit nudge, like, that sounds pretty good, I'd love to do it, I would just say now is the time to take action, because I'm giving it away for a ridiculously low $3,997. So if you are interested, you can book a call. I'm going to have Ellen put the link into Zoom, and then we'll put it also in the Facebook Live. If you are just curious, let's chat. Do not take yourself out of the equation if you're like, well, I'd love to do this, but gosh, I can't pay that much. Like, you've got all these excuses coming up. Those are just things, lies from the enemy. Just know he's trying to stop you right now, because when we're doing a business for God, that has that ripple effect around the world of getting our gifts and calling out into the world. He's going to come at you. So I also have an option for all the group stuff, plus unlimited one-on-one sessions with me too, but I only have one of those. So if you are interested, I do have a guarantee. If it doesn't help you learn all these steps to partnering with God so that you can have a consistently profitable and sustainable business by packaging your gifts, talents, skills into a high-touch hybrid while allowing you to work part-time hours and still bringing in 9 to 11K months, I want to guarantee that this will be a 100% return on your investment, or we will continue to work together until it does. I know decisions like these are scary. I just want to take every piece of fear, anxiety that is coming up when we know God is calling us to do something. So if this wasn't already amazing enough, you can get started for only $500. I do have spirit-led payment plans. I had a couple people ask me, like, what does that mean, Carrie? So all we need to know is like that you prayed to God, that you got a yes. This is the next step for you. And then we figure everything else out after that. Okay. So the number one thing here is just like, again, it's my mission and purpose to help other Christian women and experts, Christian women experts and coaches get their gifts out into the world. If you get a yes, we will figure out a payment plan. Okay, so if you're interested, definitely book a call or just reach out to me if you're like, I'm in. I would love that too. So I have to run. I have a client in 1 minute, so I am not going to be able to take questions, but if you have them, just know I'm here. If you book a call, I will answer all of them. You can reach out through Messenger. I do not do anything high pressure at all. So if you're even like 2% interested in just seeing what this might look like, let's just talk. Okay, so thank you for being here. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.